All right, today I'm talking to Jarrod Calabria. He's a director at the Behavioural Architects following his study of psychology at UNSW. Hi, Jarrod.
Hi, Denise.
Well, I'd love to know what you do. So let's get right into it. As a director at the Behavioural Architects, what do you actually do?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and probably not as the name suggests. I'm not an architect. I'll clear that up initially. What I do and what the Behavioural Architects is essentially it's a research, it's an insights, and it's a strategy consultancy. So I spend a lot of my time understanding problems, conducting consultancy for clients, and particularly with a focus around behavioural science or behavioural economics.
So I'm curious to know what you actually do on a normal day. What's a typical day look like for you in this kind of job?
We might be conducting some research. So we might be speaking to customers out in the real world, understanding kind of what they're doing, what they're buying, what they're thinking about. So that might be kind of interviews with customers. Then we'll spend some time actually analysing what we found, coming up with hypotheses. And really then from that point, it's about developing a strategy. How do we kind of overcome a problem that we've identified, or how do we encourage a particular behaviour we want?
Ooh, like what? What kind of behaviors are you hoping that people will perform more efficiently?
It could be anything like whether they just connect their home to solar panels, for instance, even making small changes around the home to upgrade appliances.
So do you need to have studied psychology in order to have the sort of job that you have?
I would say not necessarily, but it certainly helps. In kind of the team that we work in, there really is a mix. We've got people that come from a psychology background, but equally there are people that come from an advertising or a marketing background as well. So it is a real mix, but certainly I think having that psychology backing really puts you in good stead in terms of not only the research and the analysis techniques, but really just understanding human behavior as well.
So did you know that this was the sort of job you wanted when you decided to study psychology?
No, absolutely not. I was very much in the camp of I came into psychology thinking I wanted to do clinical psychology. So for me, in terms of kind of where I've ended up now, at the start, if I look back at my degree at the start, I had no idea I'd end up where I am.
How did you actually go from, being after your first year in psych, thinking, actually, maybe I don't want to be a clinical psychologist, to getting into this job?
I got an internship at a research agency. So they were just conducting a lot of, I suppose, market research as such, kind of understanding why are people buying things, what are they doing it for? And then lo and behold, just someone who I knew kind of on my LinkedIn network said, oh, there's a kind of 3-month contract going at this place. It's a mix of consulting, but a bit of psychology thrown in, might be of interest. And at that point I thought, 3 months, it's kind of worth a shot. Why not? And I think it's 4.5 years later, I'm still here.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Do you have any advice for somebody who's thinking about maybe doing the kind of work that you're doing?
I think for me, a couple of things is get as much experience in a business as you can, even if it is internships. I just think it really puts people in a lot of good stead and sets them apart when it comes to that kind of interview stage. If you can demonstrate, I've been there, I've done that, I've shown it. And I think the second thing is just have a natural curiosity to kind of want to know about why do people do things. If I don't understand it, I want to find out more. I often found it was just really helpful to kind of forget for a moment, and it's difficult to do, but forget for a moment about those external kind of sources of influencing and just take a moment to reflect inward to say, hey, what are the things that I really love about this degree, and what are the things that I find really fascinating or that make me want to attend a lecture or a tutorial and get me really excited? And then try and find opportunities to do more and more of that. I've always been a kind of big believer in find the things that you really enjoy and then build a career around just trying to do that more often.
All right. Well, Jarrod, thank you so much for talking to me today about your job. It sounds fascinating.
Thanks so much, Denise. Lovely chatting.